Let me share a little journey that we've been on for years, which we call global citizenship. And it's how do we engage everybody in the organization, making the world a better place, both in terms of environment, land, water, air, biodiversity, and human capital, housing, education, healthcare, and jobs. And this all goes back to the late 1980s when we started sending executives from Japan, US, and Europe to do country assessments in Russia, China, India, and Brazil. And 20% of their itinerary was spent on what we call citizenship activities. In Delhi, we'd get the executives up in the morning, we'd walk the back streets, we'd keep track of the number of dead bodies we saw, we'd take them out to rural schools to look at polluted rivers. And then we challenge them to say, okay, you guys are vice president level in major corporations. We had Exxon, we had P&G, we had Nomura Securities, Honda, Royal Dutch Shell, Nokia. You are senior executives in major corporations. You're doing business around the world. What role do you have in dealing with these world problems? And I said, I don't know the answer, but now that you've been exposed to them. And they came back, and most of them took on commitments to go back to their companies back in 1989 and start citizenship activities. They also challenged us, the faculty, and say, wait a minute, you've got the next generation of students. Show me something in the MBA program that deals with these issues. Couldn't do it. So starting in 1991, all the incoming MBAs at the University of Michigan get involved in citizenship activities. It's part of orientation. We send them into inner city Detroit to work with organizations like Focus Hope. Blight Busters, they go and tear down crack houses as part of their orientation. Work with Whirlpool up in Benton Harbor on rebuilding a community up there. And the purpose of engaging the students right off the bat is to imprint them with the importance of these issues. We bring in the CEO of a P&G or a GE like Jeff Immelt at the end of the day to talk to them about why it's important to those companies. So since that time, Chris and I, in all the work we've done around the world, whether it be Royal Dutch Shell, or whether it be CP out of Thailand, or Ricardo Salinas' Grupo Salinas in Mexico, or work with Intel, HP, companies in the US, everywhere. Whenever we do leadership development, we get people involved in community service, step number one. Step number two, we then have the senior leaders make a commitment as part of their leadership development of their people to set up citizenship activities for their people. And we give them some good guidelines and help on how to do it successfully. But for example, at Ford Motor Company, we probably got to 80,000 people around the world, where their leaders took them out and did community service. One interesting example, Mei Wei Ching, who ran Ford Asia, China, talked about getting an award in China for citizenship because they didn't think capitalist corporations were going to be out there doing volunteer work. So there are examples all over the world of mobilizing, and what you get out of this is not only do you do good for the community, you do something we call turbocharging. Your people feel much better about your organization. Ricardo Salinas started out Grupo Salinas a few years and mobilized 1 million people throughout Mexico to pick up garbage. All employees, people they could get in the communities. Next year it was 2 million. Past year it was like 3.5 million. And people end up feeling better about the organization. They come to work with more energy, more commitment. So you get a double hit out of this. You do good in the community, but you also turbocharge your organization.